Good evening, welcome to On the Level Racing channel. Please excuse my look this evening. I've sadly still suffering from a nasty chest infection and a cold, so this is keeping my bonnet nice and warm. We're going to look back first, obviously, on the first day. Great racing. Obviously, sadly, we didn't get it right, which is normally what happens on the first day of the Cheltenham Festival. We go through the here. So Marine National, wow. Yeah, this horse is definitely a beast. Barry Connell did the right thing, shipped him in there, and well, rest is history. I mean, again, Faisal Vega had every chance. Tried to put the race to bed on the bend, looked like he had done. However, quite a clumsy last jump at the last fence, and then obviously that's cost him. I still don't think he would have beat Marine National. The horse had plenty in the tank to go past him anyway. Big run by Diverge, who we did say that there was quite a bit of money for this horse over the course of last week. Ran a great race and in the pocket, just couldn't go the pace and sadly finished fourth. And back in fifth was Il Itaid Toms, who just did not like the ground whatsoever. Um, Even Danny Munning said, yeah, poor run, didn't enjoy the ground. So a lot of honesty there. But yeah, so there's a lot of form. That Royal Bond form now is getting stronger and stronger, from which Marie National won. I mean, it's the kind of horse that could probably come back and, well, who knows? This horse could probably take an Arkle or, the champion hurdle. Possible. Depends how obviously the horse trains on next year. Um, but go on to the Arkle itself. Very impressive. El Fabiolo. John Bond just didn't jump, didn't turn up. Again, made stupid errors. Very weird because it wasn't actually overstretching any jumps. It was more mainly every time he obviously Coleman went for a big one, he snatched him on the jump. If you see it very carefully, four or five issues there that on his jumping that he snatched him up on the jump, and the horse didn't really get into a very good rhythm really. Um, yeah, at one stage it looks like Sam Roy was going to come up there at the back of them, but so I said, great run by Munning's horse here, El Fabiano. It put the race to bed very comfortably. Once turning in, the race was gone. On to the 250. Great tip by Tony Hawes, who put this horse up as probably one of his best bets of the day in the handicaps. Again, Tony does it again, and that was correct. Correct Rambler. Great ride by Derek Fox. Looked out of the race completely, two out. Has just stayed on right through to the line and did exactly what he did last year. Came between horses and picked him off. Great run by the Gopher, or the Gopher, however you would pronounce it. Finished back in fourth. That's a good form line going forward. Obviously to a couple of races today. For tomorrow, sorry. Um, yeah, so correct Rambler. Great run. He's going to get up. I mean, he won't go up too much for that. He probably only got about £3 for that. So I mean, he could be still quite ahead of the handicapper. On to the champion hurdle. Wow. What can you say about a champion hurdle? What a horse. Um, oh yeah, okay. I picked State Man to take him on at my peril. State Man was just not good enough. I mean, even Paul Tannen said, wow, what a horse constitutional hill it is. I mean, where do you go next? I mean, obviously, he'd probably head over to Aintree. And I could presume he would be even better because it's a flat track. And I think he's going to absolutely annihilate him wherever he goes next. State Man will probably go back to Ireland. I won't be surprised if this horse gets put away for Punchestown Festival. Pretty much see him now until then. And great run by Gordon Eddott's Zanna year. Turning back the clocks, finishing third there at 66-1. Great run. Big improved run, in fact. Um, On to the 410, which was the David Nicholson Mares Hurdle, obviously known as the Closed Brothers. Wow, what can you say? What a way to end a career. 17 wins out of 19 starts, honeysuckle. I mean, I sat there and watched the race, and to be honest, Um, I thought Love and Roy was setting a really good clip. And the thing about Rachel Blackmore, she didn't panic at all. I mean, when she came round that bend for the final fence, I mean, okay, yeah, Love Envoy got the better jump over the last, but Honeysuckle knows where that line is. And again, she proved how good she is, and what a way to go out on a bout out on a great career. Um, yeah, it's great for Kim Alexander. I mean, what a horse! I mean, even basically tipped it up himself. I think he had a few quid on it as well. Um, yeah, fair play. And Rachel Blackmore again um, brings the horse home, which is great. Yeah, happy retirement, Honeysuckle. On to the 450. Now, this is quite annoying. Mate. Okay, this could be a bit of Arthur timing, but I did actually fancy Mad Jazzy Matty before I did the preview with the lads, but yeah, it is what it is. But he can't sneak up there. So I actually went for Risk Bell, who again ran a cracker, had every chance coming over the last. Um, and yeah, just got caught for second, finishing third. Great ride by a biker. Tony did actually speak to me before the race and said, he did like biker in the race and just a bit lucky he lost by a neck. A great ride by the young Michael O'Sullivan, who's making quite a name for himself at the moment. He's had a double on the first day, and I would like to think that he brings home one of my selections tomorrow. On to the final race, which was for amateur jockeys. Again, Mullins and Patrick Mullins, unbeaten again. And Gadiard du Menzel, classy act. Wins at 10 to 11. Chemical Energies run well, and Mr. Kofi ran well as well. Very disappointed on the selection, to be honest with you. Paul Manella Crooner didn't really go a yardstick. It was second favourite. It was quite heavily back before the off. But no, Gadiard Dismanil reigned the day. Going back to the Supreme, mate, who would have thought the first 8 home was Irish? Just goes to shows how much the competition from us over here in UK is not quite there yet against the great Irish, especially in the Supreme. So we're going to move on to tomorrow. Um, Straight into the Ballymore Novices Hurdle, Grade 1 event. It's 1:30. I know Tony's very sweet on Impaired Ipassi. I was quite also. Um, and So, yeah, Impaired Impassi, we both liked. Sorry about it, I had to pause it there. My phone going bleep bleep every 2 seconds. Um, so, yeah, but we could have a good look at this race, what his horse actually been because his horse has been drifting um, all the time. So yeah, this horse has been drifting over the last few days. So out the 13 to 8 now. Bit weak on exchanges. Last seen in heavy ground at Punchestown when beating the Model Kingdom. Um, how good we don't know that's going to be. That was the Moscow Flyer. My concern is the ground because I didn't think the ground looked that heavy today. I thought it was like more than like good to soft. I actually thought even though the rain we've had and a little bit of snow, I actually thought the ground wasn't that bad. It's good. It's very good ground to run on. So I'm going to come away from the favourite. I mean, if we go to form lines, like I said, I messaged up a horse called Champ Keeley, who's got a good form line now. This horse. Now the Royal Bond is really working out really well, as we know. Marine Nationale came out and landed the Supreme today. Irish Point has gone on to win. Ashrow Diamond's gone on to win. Back and forth there. He was only 4 lengths off the winner, Marine Nationale. That's Champ Keeley. So you would have, and he was 10 to 11 favourite to win that race. So you would have to give this horse a big chance in this race. Um, you just kind of look at it. It's going to be a cracking price. I mean, he's come out and he came out and franked that form for Marine Nationale, and which I missed today for the racing. I think if I looked at it more strongly, I would have probably picked up Marine Nationale, but can't after time, as I said. But Shem Kinney came out and beat Irish Point by 2 1/4 lengths over 2 mile free. That was on soft ground again. I don't think his horse actually was it too soft. I mean, he's a 2 mile hurdle winner over on good ground. So he's He's able to win good races. That was a grade three over at Tipperary last year, back in October. So yeah, I mean, he's a price of 8 to 1. I mean, I wouldn't put you off back him each way, and I would probably put him up each way bet for me, Champ Kitty, purely the fact that the Royal Bond Hawk race is really, really strong now. Um, we've got to have a look at obviously Paul Nicholls, Herman's Allen, because he reckons it's the best bet of the week for him. Last seen coming out over 2.5, extended 2.5 miles when landing the shallow novices, beating a horse called You Wear It Well. I don't think the shallow novices hurdle is a great race coming into this. I don't think this horse is going to be good enough. I've been proved wrong already today, but I just don't think the horse will be good enough to win this, even though Nichols has turned said it's probably his best bet of the week. Um, Interesting, Gaelic Warrior has come from the Supreme to this for Mullins. A little bit of money round for it. Last seen coming out and beating a horse called Nibiru over in Ireland in Leopardstown. That was a 0 to 150 grade B. I don't think it's a very strong race. Considering the horse in second was a 40 to 1 shot. He beat a mediocre field, to be fair in that. Um, and you know, we're going to go to form that he beat Brazil. He got second to Brazil last year, as we said, when backed off the boards in the Boodles on the second day. So yeah, I can't see why he could probably win this race again. You know, he was off 129 last year. He's going to come into this of a mark of 156. He's way up. He's been up 29 pounds since last year, which is quite an improvement. But you can't knock it. The horse is in good form. And you know what Mullins is like when he switches races? He usually gets it right. It's a good hard one this last year for Mullins and Paul Townend. Um, Mullins doesn't tend to win this race often. He's only had a couple of wins in this. But I think Champ Keely is better than Gaelic Warrior. Could be wrong. You never know. Um, we have to move on to Goodland. Now, Goodland is going to be the gamble of the day here. Michael O'Sullivan again. This young boy, already two on the board. I mean, would this be something? You know, sadly, he can't claim in these kind of races. I mean, um, he's a usual claimer in Ireland. So obviously, these kind of races, these Grade One events, he can't claim his allowance. Last seen at Leopardstown, over extended 2 miles 6 when beating a horse called Absolute Notions. Again, it's a race I don't know how strong it's going to turn out to be. That was back in February. Even if we look through the form, there's, that's the horse that finished second had already finished third into In the Pocket, who again ran a good race in the Supreme. Um, the third was a previous winner. It's just, you know, good land. If we look at the good land's last run, so the fact it's the Barry Connell issue here. Always prominent, second halfway, led travelling well, two out, pushed along before last, rid it and stayed on really well. That was over 2 miles 6. Now the fact that it's also step up to 3 miles, not only that, we've got to look at realistically that. Oh, sorry, it's just 2 mile 5. I do apologise, I put it on the wrong race. It's a little bit shorter than he won before. However, this horse is an out and out stayer, a 3 miler. He will be a 3 miler in the coming years. I'm pretty sure on that. I think this horse, if he wins today, tomorrow, he will step up to 3 miles. They have to. He's got a bit of an engine. I think Barry Connell has purchased two good horses here, very good horses. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'd like to presume I will be in the camp. I'm gonna have two bets here because I think both are worth having a bet with. I mean, I think Goodland's a good bet, 130. It's pretty stable there. I can't overwrite Sean Keeley because just the fact that the Royal Bond race has got stronger and stronger. You have to take that realistically, especially around coming to this race. On to the 210, which is the Brown Advisory Novices Chase. Very strong favourite is called Jelly Cologne. Nice horse trained by Gordon Elliott. Jameson Gayford gets up on the board. Nice win last time out over 2.5 miles on Good to Soft, which he would absolutely should like tomorrow, which I think that's what the ground is. Came out and beat a horse called Balco Coastal by 1 3/4 lengths. and done it very well. I mean, that will probably put me in the mark about 151. Coming this 154, so the BHP hasn't really been lenient on him. If it were quite a serious penalty, but I like to think that he's probably the probably best bet in the race, and is definitely the best horse in the race. Anything else in there? You can't take away Cheltenham form. The real whacker is probably the value race. Last seen here, winning by 3 1/4 lengths in the Paddy Power Novices Chase, which is a Grade 2 event over an extended 2.5 miles. We'll get this trip very well. Um, Always jumps well here. Now I've said that they're pretty fucking full. But a big horse called Monmoral, Paul Nichols, who came out and finished fourth to Jerry Colombe to equivalent of nearly 30 lengths. So you can see where I'm coming with this. Um, it's a really, the real whacker will probably have a little bit to find with Jerry Colombe on this race. Anything against it, it's Gerhard. Obviously, we know he's a festival winner. Last year's Ballymore Novice Hurdle winner. Um, I haven't been taken much on. I think very, very average win over at Garran Park in a beginner's chase, winning by 38 lengths at 1-6. So, and he beat a horse called Largy Debut. He didn't really beat much there. We don't know how he's going to turn up, but he is a previous winner at Cheltenham, so that does go with him in good stead. I was in a race there. I mean, Bronze got something to find with Jerry Lacombe. Cologne's adamantly chosen also. Ramillies, I'm quite surprised they've actually left Ramillies in this, actually. I thought they might have switched him. Time Hill, we know Time Hill was the previous winner. Um, I think a bit to find with the best horses in this race. We'll find things a bit tough. So yeah, I think looking on this, it's going to be a golden edit here, horse. I think here, Jordan Gainford riding Jerry Colombe. I think will be very, very hard to beat. And I think basically go and fill your satchels. I think the bookies could get, if it goes right, the bookies can get really stung on the first two races. On to the 250, which is the Coral Cup over 2 mile 5 again. I know Tony's pretty sweet on run for Oscar in this race. I'm surprised he's not back in Lagadan. He seems like this horse every year. I'm going to go for a little outside here. He's top weight here. He's got a £5 claim on in Ben Harvey. It's a Gordon Ennett horse, and that is Phil Dore. Now, I do believe this horse is a good stayer, and I think we'll get further in this. Um, Last seen, it came back over hurdles recently when being a horse called, if you know, Sharjah in the Grade 3 Red Mills Trial Hurdle over at Garran Park on soft to heavy. And then it just got up. I thought he had more in the tank because he literally outpointed Sharjah that day. Back in third was Dr. Bravo, who wasn't really that impressive today for me in the Supreme. Um, yeah, again, Phil Dye, I mean, it's a lot of weight. People might think 12 stone, but he's got a £5 claim on it. Brings him down to 11 stone 9. Yeah, I think the horse got a cracking each way chance. I can't see him. I'd be surprised if they're paying up the first 5 or 6 in this. I can't. I'd be surprised if the horse is out the 5 or 6 there. We need a bad run. Again, Michael O'Sullivan comes in on Noel Mead's Beacon Edge. Again, you can't overrule this horse. Gingerstown stud. Last seen finishing third to Blazing Cow over in the William Hill Boyne Hurdle, a Grade 2 event over 2 mile 5 this trip. Had Delta Work well beaten back that day, but we know Delta Work switched to trying to retain his crown in the cross country. That was too short for Delta Work, but it was a good prep run anyway. Anything else in the race? I mean, Call Me Lord. You can never underrate Nicky Henderson. I mean, Call Me Lord. I mean, if 66 to 1 is a pretty big price, I thought he ran really well at Sandown. Um, in a very, I just done the show, showed a 3 mile, good soft ground. I put the best race he's run for a long, long time. And he's only finished 3 lengths behind Greenbrook, who I actually tipped up that day to win the race. Excuse me. So, I mean, Call Me Lord at 66 to 1, that's a huge price. I'll be surprised to see a big run from the horse. You know, your big bets big each ways. which I know some of you do. Um, Going through everything else in the race, not really for me. This is a race that doesn't tend to go. I mean, the Irish have won it the last 2 years. Henderson's had a couple. I mean, three out the last 5 years has gone to the Irish. Sorry again. And so I would probably have another each way. I'll probably have two each way bets on this race, and this race will be a horse called Rion. I was quite taken with his run back in September when winning a rated novice hurdle by just getting up at a mark of 125, beating the odds on favourite Spanish Harlem of Willie Mullins. I thought that was quite a good win, and he did look impressive doing it. That was on good ground, which I think if the ground does dry up tomorrow, which I think it will a little bit, that was a big run for me. Especially just getting in 135. I mean, he's generally only rated 129, but I still think he's got a cracking chance. To be fair, but yeah, I would. So my two bets would be Phil Door, the top weight up there, and each way also on down the bottom there on Rian. So they're both trained by Gordon Edwards. The 330 is the Queen Mother. Um, I I'm a big fan of Edwardstone. Always have been, always will be. It came good for me last year, but this year, probably at my peril, I'm going to go against him. I just think Energumine was just out of sorts last time out in the Clarence House. Um, Beaten 6.5 lengths by Edwardstone. Race was won by Editor de Geet, which probably is quite a shock for him. It wasn't 14-1. He was 14 to 4-9 to win the race in Nurgamine that day. Didn't really turn up. People could turn around and say Cheltenham form's absolutely horrendous, but not really because we don't he won this last year, um, and there's no reason why um, he just can't turn up again and win it again, which I think he can. I think he can emulate previous winners of this race, and yeah, I think Nurgamine could be good enough. It'd be the first horse since Altior. So Altior done it twice, so it's just possible. Um, I just think Nurgamine will definitely turn up and beat Edwardstone this time around because Eddie Durdegeet's definitely going to set a good clip. He's got to be the front runner of the race. Edwardstone will come off the pace. If Nurgamine can stay on the quarters of Eddie Durdegeet this time around and not let him get away, yeah, coming down up to that Cheltenham Hill where he knows where the winning line is, he could win this. Nichols seems to think Grenadine was in good order. Big price, 25-1. Last seen finishing third to Thunderbill Savola to 4 lengths in the Game Spirit Chase. Um, I just think the horse has lost its way a little bit, sadly. Uh, this horse was supposed to be a star. When you come up, consider this horse has only won a Grade Two, I think. So yeah, Grade Two, a limited handicap. When they're holding Gold Cup X and stuff, which ain't great. Um, so yeah, for me, I think this horse got a lot to do. So it will be Energumine for me. I think Mullins, he will have this horse spot on. 410 is the Glenfarclas Chase. As again, Tony is really sweet on Delta work here, but obviously I've got to take him on. I'd be mad not to. And I am going to take him on with Galvin. Gordon and its horse here. Um, some will seem to think that it's his second string, but the thing is, which Galvin is going to turn up? Is it very interesting that they've switched him over to these kind of races, especially these distances. I mean, He did run at Cheltenham last year in the Cheltenham Gold Cup, over 3 mile two, and he finished. I thought he finished a great fourth to a plus tard, even though he was punting off the ball to win the race. It wasn't a very strong renewal, that kind of one, and yeah, he put in theory. Galvin's put in more out and out stayer, so he was staying on that day, and I think his step up and trip's going to help him. And yeah, I'll take him on to attack Delta Work here. I'm just hoping Delta Work gets tap for toe, which he has done in the past. I mean, he did last year. I didn't think he was going to win it last year. It was just a great ride. So yeah, McGalvin 9-4 against the favourite. It's got to be a great price. The 450, which is the Johnny Henderson Grand Annual Challenge Cup handicap, chase over the just shy of 2 miles. Um, I don't know. The horse I like in this is has been drifting, um, and that's Dan Skelton's horse, third time lucky. Now this horse got on track um, last time out, which and I thought he ran really well when landing the Dollars handicap chase and when beating a horse called Fastbuck at Sandown. After since this horse has had a wind operation, it's done a world of good to this horse. And the fact that Keelan Woods rode it that day, and now you're going to get Dan Skelton riding it. Yeah, I hope Dan gets it right because I think third time lucky's got a great chance here. Because this horse will come off the pace, which I think in this kind of race you do need to be off the pace. Um, and I think third time lucky's a cracking bet, especially off Leatherstone 8. That's a good weight for the horse. Look here, it is in the race. Again, Mullins and Dempsey, can't overlook them. Um, they had a good third today. Here they've got Dino Blue, who finished behind a horse called Magic Days, which I think Tony fancies at some point. Um, and yeah, just under 4 lengths behind, kept on the same pace. That was over 2 miles on good ground. A little bit of fine. That was 4-5 favourite beaten Luke Dempsey. I mean, for a horse that was 4-5 favourite last time, and he's coming into this off a 6-1. Yeah, it's probably a good each way bet. Same as third time lucky. Is the favourite here is Final Orders of Gary Cromwell's horse here. I mean, I don't know whether they're backing it because the horse got 5 firsts against his name. Um, he hasn't really beaten much in the race, but he's an improver. Um, Again, won quite comfortably. We went in a 0 to 150 grade B over at Leopardstown on the 4th of February at the Dublin Festival. Over 2 mile one. And did it well. Didn't have a look in doubt. When it does off a mark of 140, it should be coming to this off about 148. Gets in it off 150. So yeah, so the handicap was really got stuck into him. So I think he might have been a bit defined this time around. So yeah, my two bets in this race would be third time lucky and down the bottom there, Dino Blue to run a each way bets there. And the 530 is the Weatherby's Champion bumper. Now I try and get this right every single year. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's just, it's just supposed to be my forte. This is supposed to be my speciality, shall I say? These races. Um, a dream to share. Has been tipped up quite a lot right across the board. Great pedigree. Last seen when beating Factorfile by 2 3/4 lengths in a Future Stars race in Leopardstown on the Dublin Festival at 12-1. And Factorfile was 2-1 favourite that day. Back in fourth was Facile Mode, and back in fifth was Chosen Witness. So yeah, the horses got thing to prove. It's on good ground. So like I said, if the ground's dried up, definitely go in his favour. The favourite here is obviously Winnie Mullins' other horse here, Captain. Oh, no, sorry, I do apologise. Say Captain Cody, 101. God, you'll be screaming. So Dream Share is the favourite. So you've got a Factor Farm here as well. Facile Mode in the race as well. I know Tony's pretty sweet on fun, and so was Connor, I believe. Now he's 8-1. He has been drifting. There's not been much money coming for this horse. Last seen beating horse called Lee de Burley by 9.5 lengths. That again, it was at the Dublin Festival. I actually put up Lily de Burley to beat the horse, and he hasn't really done much since going hurdling. The runner up, I mean, to um, fourth to Corbett's Cross, which was over in Nice, which I believe Corbett's Cross has come out again and won, which he has. And if we look again, give me 1 second. And he came out and got third to Irish Point, which is not a bad yardstick. So he would probably come into this with a mark of about 139, depends. Um, 120, 125. That's a very low mark. Very low mark. I think he's run above that. I think he's run above at least £6 or £7 above that. So that fun. Yeah, would definitely be an each way bet. Um, Rachel Blackmore here, Western Diego. Another horse you've got to take a look at here, 12 to 1. Um, nice win last time out. I thought was a good yardstick beating Sutton's Hill, um, which I actually tipped that day. Western Diego did it really well on soft ground. That was 2 over 2 mile free though, so he's stepping back to 2 miles. He led and clear, reduced advantage after 4, travelling well, 1.5 furlongs out. As 30 in sci-fi, if it kept on well inside. So Patrick Munnings running that day, but obviously no Patrick Munnings today. Goes to Rachel Blackmore because obviously Patrick Munnings will switch and will probably ride the more likely horse in the race, which is, give me a second, Factor File, um, which is obviously second favourite. JP McAnnis' horse, I said, behind Dream to Share in the Grade 2 at the Dublin Festival. So yeah, really them two coming from that festival are probably the likely ones here. I mean, yeah, we haven't seen an English winner of this race since 2016 when Baddy Andy took the spoils for Nigel Twisting Davis. So yeah, I mean, it's the last 7 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the last 6 years gone to the Irish. It should go to the Irish again. It's just a matter of which Irish horse is going to go. Fun. Yeah, it's nice. Western Diego is also a nice horse. No time to wait. But I'm going to go for Mullins here and Paul Townend on It's For Me. Currently 11 to 2 in the market. Last seen when beating Sutton's Hill by 10 lengths, which is quite a big increase. 4 to 9 favourite. You know, never looked in doubt. Cruised up on the bridle. Yeah, he was impressive. I mean, we thought fun was impressive. Take a look back on this race. It's For Me. And it was even more pretty impressive. So that would be the bumper winner for me. It's For Me. Um, Got to take a look, obviously, at Gordon Edits also here. Jamie Codd. You can't leave Jamie Codd out of a bumper. Rise better days ahead. Last seen when, excuse me, last seen when beating Chapelle de Soleil by 3/4 lengths again, and that was before Christmas. Hasn't been seen since. So that's actually a good pointer. Not many horses have actually come and a run before this. Please excuse me. Um, so if you look at statistically, so you've got 39 days, 89 days, 18 days, 39 days, 39. So most of them ran the 30. So most of them ran, I think, obviously the Dublin Festival for this race. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking at a horse for bumper horses here that have run around the festival. So you've got fun. So look, it ain't money. You've got fun. You've got, keep going. You've got Chosen Witness um, and Dream the Share. So that narrows it down a hell of a lot, doesn't it? It's For Me didn't. So even though I like It's For Me, that's when you've got to look at it again and you think, Paul Townend, Willie Mullins, It's For Me, bumper, it all adds up. However, I did text Tony, It's For Me, I believe, on WhatsApp. Sorry, Tone, I am going to change my mind because I did realise that stat there that from the Dublin Festival is very strong. So I am going to go. I think I tipped him up on the preview. If I change my mind now, I'll kick myself. So I'm going to go for a Dream to Share. Okay, I'm gonna. I haven't napped anything. I don't think I napped anything yet. I think. So I'm going to nap Dream to Share. Currently pricing at 7 to 2, followed by 9 to 2 with Sky Bet. Yeah, I'm going to nap this horse. Nap a bumper horse. I think. Let's give it a go. So let's look back on what my selections are and what point system we're going to do. So again, my bet's going to be it'll be a 1 point win on good. So in the 130, sorry, it'll be 1 point win on good land, 130. And I'm going to squeak it away half a point each way at 15 to 2 with Sky Bet. You can get eights actually. So look, yeah, you can get 8 to 1 across the board with Paddy Power, William Hill. So each way, bet half a point each way, 8 to 1 on Shump Keeley. Hopefully that raw bond is really strong. Um, I think here I'm going to nab this horse. I think Jerry Colombe hasn't got really much to beat here, from my point of view. And I think, yeah, it's definitely a next best bet for me. 5 to 4, you can get 11 to 8 across there, but 5 to 4 generally. A 2 point win, that is. The 250 here, I'm going to go for a good price here, runner. And that is Field Door. You get 14 to 1 with Paddy Power. Um, Gets a £5 claimer on board. Claimers do well in this race. So yeah, that'd be for me. Each way on Field Door, up the top there of the list. That's half a point each way. And then I'm going to go for Inugamine. She's probably my next best bet. Um, 15 to 8 there, and William Hill. I think that'd be worth grabbing. I just think he just might have too much for these this time around again and retain the title. 410. So obviously Tony goes for Dealt Work. I'm going to go against him. I'm going to go 1.5 point win. Um, at 9 to 4 on Galvin. And the 450 here, the Grand Annual, two against the field, half a point each way on Dino Blue at 6 to 1, and a half a point each way on Third Time Lucky, which you can get tens with Spec Fred and tens with William Hill. He's actually short as 8 to 1 on Paddy Power. Um, they seem to know, don't they? They know. And the 530, which is the Weatherby's champion bumper, napping this horse, big nap, 3 point win, 4 to 1, the dream to share to land the bumper. So that's it, guys. Second day here, so we are down at the moment, which is always every year we are. We always start off very shady and ropey, and the first day always kills us. But however, it's still 3 days to go. We always end up way in front. You look at last year. But last year, I mean, the last day, I think I had 5 winners, 5 so on the day which rocketed us into profit. So yeah, thanks for joining me. It's on the Liberation channel. Signing out. Good night, guys, and have a lucky day for the second day.